Welcome back. In a bid to boost the capacity of cottage industries in the country, the Nigerian Promotion Council has reaffirmed its commitment to ensure that small and medium enterprises are given the necessary assistance to grow and impact more significantly on the Nigerian economy. Well, let's even look at the issues around the Nigerian cottage industry this afternoon. And this evening, I beg your pardon, and joining me to talk about this conversation is Dr. Alima, who is a special advisor to the Senate President. He's a special legislative aide, I beg your pardon, to the Senate President. But first, let me welcome you to the show. You're welcome to the desk.
Thank you very much.
All right, so what do you make of the various sustainable growth within the cottage industry?
Yeah, all right. Let us look at what cottage industry is all about for more clarification. Yeah, because this is a sector, it's an industry that represents the heritage of Africa and Nigeria. This is where we see one of our heritage. This comprises of the small-scale businesses which operate from their homes or their communities that engage into business activities and manufacturing activities at the lower level. Yeah, so this is the what's the cottage industries, and we were looking at okay, some of the examples are okay. Let us say furniture making, weaving, leather making, soap making, all those things. I call it a heritage because we found that this is what we inherited, and it has a long way to give a great impact toward the growth of the Nigerian economy if carefully looked at and being attention is given to that sector.
All right, Dr. Alima Usman, to a very large extent, we've seen Nigerian government in, government out, being able to shy away from having a conversation even around the cottage industry. I am at this point curious to ask, are we ready for the cottage conversation even as a country and as a people?
Yeah, we are, because we can't shy away from who we are. Because I said this is what we have inherited from forefathers. Okay, look at it. This is what, in fact, when you look at the future of the Nigerian economy of Africa, this is what we are being described or identified. We walked up, if you can see that, okay, you walk up into families and see, we have one or two skills that we inherited and we specialize in it that is being done at that lower level. Now the discussion on how to now integrate it, all right? And okay, how do we integrate it? And there's a very important key there. For example, many of it we say we want to produce more, we want to engage in this business to a larger or higher level than what we are operating, but they spoke about electrification, powering. They need electricity in order to produce more than what they are producing. So we are now looking at what are the other ways of powering these cottage industries. We believe that we all know that they have significant impact to an economic growth to a certain level, and if carefully looked at, can be transformed into these targeted export zones. Because when you look at it, this, if we specify those specific areas that is being needed, we can transform it from the domestic market, which will lead to an international market. So,
but to a very large extent, we've seen conversations even that borders on the cottage industry.
Yeah.
And those conversations tend to be a surface. For the cottage conversation, or we should rather be doing more of import and even importing of skills, importing of knowledge, importing of technology to be able to address some of these cottage concerns that we have in the country that seems as though we are not ready for that conversation.
okay, I would say we are ready to say, Yeah, I would say we are ready because this is what we are experiencing. It's already in practice. And we can see that a lot of Nigerians are trying to display their own specialists. A lot of Nigerians are looking onto doing what they can do best in it. All right. So, and also afraid that this will help towards increasing and also integrating our export processing zones. For example, now, if you look at this, we can easily identify in the different geopolitical zones what we specialize in. Attention can be given into it, and this particular sector can be producing. They are ready, but we can help them to see how they can integrate their production that we target the foreign market. So, for example, now if we identify that, okay, cotton is a very one of the demanded goods in the foreign market, then we identify those particular states or region that are good indeed, they can produce it, they can process it, then attention be given in that particular sector so that it will be one of the demanded product that will help the country to boost its production level and also income generation. Right? This can be one of the revenue generation to the country, and it will help to create employment, because when there's boost in that particular sector, it can help. So I'm specifically looking at the powering of this sector. It's one of the challenges that we do have, powering of these sectors, because a lot of them depend on the maybe electrification through the non-renewable. When I talk about non-renewable energy, these are electrification or energy that is being produced through a finite or limited source, non-renewable. For example, we have the petroleum, the gas. These are fossil soil, and they replenish in nature. They runs out. That's why people find it very expensive for a village craftsman who have the skills, want to do more. If he's producing, let us say 10, 20 daily of quantity of what he's producing, but because of the electrification, he's somehow handicapped to do more than what he can do. Then the question here is that, is there an option? The answer is yes, there's option. We can look at the other source of powering electrification. In fact, when you look at it, that most of the developed countries now are moving from the non-renewable source of energy, okay, to the renewable source of energy. And we have this in abundance, and they doesn't replenish, all right? They don't run out. For example, now, I'm specifically looking at the Nigerian economy to utilize renewable source of energy for the cottage industries. If this will be duplicated, if this one will be encouraged, the cottage industry will do a lot, will contribute toward the growth of the Nigerian economy. Yeah. So when you look at under the renewable energy, we have energy being generated toward from sunlight. That is when we are looking at solar. Solar is a source of electrification. All right. So if the petroleum and gas is too expensive for the cottage industry to realize, then we have the solar system, solar energy, which can be tapped from the sunlight, and sunlight is in abundant. I can see, looking at the previous 2024 budget, I can see a lot of bills and a lot of projects that is being considered toward solar electrification in the rural areas, which will help to boost. So if the cottage industry can utilize this sum, it's going to help a long way to go. Another source of renewable energy is wind. Yeah, we can generate electrification for this industry through wind, all right, via the wind turbines. As the wind is circulating, is generating electrification, all right, which a person who operates in his community with his own, because this cottage industry, usually they utilize their own resources. They domicile in their community or their houses, and they utilize their resources. So if they can get that, that will help them a long way to go.
Well, let me interrupt you, Dr. Alima.
Yeah.
To a very large extent, it has become very obvious that the Nigerian cottage industry is being manned in terms of its manpower by a lot of unskilled and untrained professionals, which we called, most of them are not they are not that skilled in terms of getting university education and also going to get professional craft, but rather they've gotten all the informal kind of education, not the kind of degrees that we want. Now, as a country that wants to dabble and delve into this sector and become the powerhouse for Africa to look up to in terms of our cottage industry. All of this narrative being, all of these indices being put together, does it indicate that as a country in the next couple of years we'll be able to surmount the various pressures that comes with the cottage industry and be able to revolutionize the cottage industry?
Yeah, I'm looking at it at this this angle, as I said earlier on, that these industries, if adequately been taken care of, guided, they are going to improve to the level that will help the Nigerian economy to achieve sustainable growth to an extent. Yeah, remember you made mention of some are not that skills, some didn't get the formal education in respect to that. Yeah, but when you look at it, is that at the recent there are trainings going on and empowering, all right, training them on how they can sharpen their skills to do better in that particular areas. I have throughout the I've witnessed some of the trainings that what was going to help women in the village. Yeah, women in the village, how they can handle some of the sectors that they are into it, which is doing locally. But if being managed with the training now, it helps them to sharpen their skills. It helps them to have a focus, all right, and it also gives them prospects, because by the time they understand that there is a lot of potentials and prospects in what they are doing, they will now put more interest and they will love what they are doing, and they will be able to now concentrate to do a lot. This will help in a very vital role to help to reduce the level of poverty in the country, and this will help to reduce the level of graduate looking for white-collar jobs. For example, now we are all interested at the moment. Now we are looking at China as a country. Look at China. These are what they concentrated, and they were able to boost their economy. Whatever sector you look at it, they sharpen their skills, they modernize it, they bring up a lot of innovations, and they are good in it.
Well, Dr. Aisha, let's take this as cottage conversation part 1, because I'm being signaled right now that it's time to go. But I want to say thank you so much for being a part of the desk this evening. Now, we'll continue on this conversation even on some other time here on the desk to be able to cross the T's and dot the I's. Of course, our viewers out there are curious to know some of the benefit that accrue to the cottage industry in Nigeria. We've not spoken about the benefit, remember?
Yeah.
So I have to bring you back even on this table to talk about this. But I want to say, again, thank you so much for being a part of the show.
Thank you.
All right. At this point in time, we want to say thank you so much for also staying with us till this time, even on the desk. Of course, we know that we've been able to bring you value even of this evening. But always remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Till I come your way on the desk again, I am Godwin Sunday. Do enjoy the rest of your evening. Up next is the news. Bye for now.